I'm the co-founder and CEO of It's Nerd. And basically what we do is we offer web development services, SEO services, Google Ads services, and we also have a separate department in our company where we have a marketplace and we work with startup companies. We help them distribute and sell their products in Canada. And we worked for the past 7 months with Northalsted with an SEO project. It was a big, long SEO project, and there was many phases during the project. And also during this presentation I'm gonna explain about SEO, and while explaining about SEO I'm gonna give some examples about the Northalsted project.
Yeah, so I wanted to remind the board that we are recording this for our members that we're going to be sending out along with the rebates that we are offering for digital marketing.
Okay.
Mario has been fantastic in offering all of our members a complimentary estimate and consultation on their website. So that is one immediate benefit that all our members get, but then they can also utilize the SSA rebates to take advantage of some more of the services. We will be reviewing the NBA website SEO project. However, this is not a review of that project. He's just using it as examples. So feel free to ask any questions that you think would be in the best interest of the membership regarding SEO, but limit them to general questions, not the project specifically that Mario did for the NBA. We will do that analysis as a board after the fact.
So yes, so basically this is our presentation. There's an outline. This is a table of content. So how this presentation is divided, it's an overview about SEO generally, and then some of the company background, explaining the foundations of SEO, and then we explain the difference between on-page SEO, off-page SEO, Google Images, and Google My Business. And we talk about some success stories of companies that we worked with, and then comes the offers, and finally, like we said, there's going to be some time for questions. So yes, so it's just an overview about the company. So what we do mainly is to help small and medium businesses develop. So we started basically with startup at the beginning 3 years ago, and now we kind of growed and worked a bit more with medium companies. And we're SEO is the biggest thing that we do within our company. SEO is the service that has grown the most in our company, because we saw a lot of success in SEO, and SEO generally is growing, and there's a lot of opportunities, and specifically to companies that don't want to spend too much budget on marketing. SEO is the best solution because it provides free traffic. All you have to pay is a management fee, or if you're doing it yourself, it's free basically, unlike other pay-per-click businesses, and you can get there's no limit to how much traffic you can get. So that's the difference between SEO and another paid sales funnel. So if I want more traffic, more sales, I just have to do better SEO, add more content. So growth is related to how much work I put in, and not how much budget I put in or how much money I put into that funnel. So this is just a company background. I'm just going to skip that. I kind of explained it a little bit, and you can see it later when we send you the presentation. So here we start, explaining about SEO. So SEO basically stands for search engine optimization. So when I'm talking about search engine, I'm not just talking about Google. This is a very big, misconception. SEO really, it's Google, Bing, Yahoo, and also a very big misconception is that Google, holds, I don't know what percentage of the traffic. There are different numbers out there, but the real data says that Google only owns 60% approximately of the search traffic in the US, and Bing and Yahoo together own between 30 and 35%, and then there's other, smaller search engines like DuckDuckGo, etc. So, SEO, like we said, it's increasing the traffic and also the quality of the traffic, and this is what we called organic traffic. So whenever you hear the term organic traffic, it's always SEO. Also, SEO, it's not just optimizing your website, and it's really, there's a lot of research that goes behind it, because you have to really pick the keywords that you want to optimize for. You want to really do a market research, and a lot of times it helps, with the business. It helps, finding opportunities of where you can grow, where you can expand your services. So just a quick example. So we're doing a project for a big franchise in Canada. They sell eyeglasses and sunglasses. And when we were doing research on keywords related to their collections, what happened is that we found a lot of collections that have a lot of search volume and are easy to rank for, but our client wasn't really selling those items. So we told him, so look, there are these items and these items, sunglasses and eyeglasses that have a lot of search volume, and there's not much competition. So it's an opportunity for you to go into, those products, buy them, resell them. So it happens for any service and any project, to find those opportunities and really understand the market and understand the trends behind the market. So this is a quick explanation about the difference between Google Ads and SEO. So this is on Google. So to be able to identify if a listing is an ad, you just see the small ad in bold here next to the ad, and then you have the organic listing. So there are a lot of searches where you're not going to find any ad. It's just going to be organic listings, and there are a lot where you're going to find ads. And basically also sometimes there's more than one ad. It's a maximum of 4 ads, and sometimes it's one or even no ads, basically. There's something also important to note is that traffic coming from SEO usually convert more than traffic coming from ads, because traffic coming from organic listings, usually they trust more the website they're going in. So it increases the conversion rate, and we've seen that with multiple projects, and it's not only e-commerce. So I just wanted to point out that it's also with services, with anything. So the benefits of SEO generally. So quality traffic, like we said, because they have a high engagement rate, a high conversion rate. So it helps you move ahead of the competition because it gives a lot of brand awareness. So even though, sometimes you're not converting on SEO because there's a certain click-through rate on Google. So click-through rate means how many people clicked on the ad relatively to how many people saw it. So even if you have a click-through rate of 2%, you're still getting a lot of impressions, and that creates brand awareness. And it's going to get people to remember your name and to know you, and basically in the future they might see you again and again on different listings and convert. So it creates brand awareness. That's something that's very important. It gets you more clicks than pay per click because, as we said, 80% organic, 20% ads. Encourages local users to visit the physical store after the search because Google, that's what I'm going to explain more detail later, but SEO is not just really ranking organic listings. You can rank on Google My Business also. You can rank on Google Maps. You can rank on Google Images. So when you're ranking on Google Maps, it's going to get you more offline sales also. So it's a very big misconception that SEO is really online. No, it gets you a lot of offline traffic. It gets you a lot of calls because you can rank on your Google My Business listing and you have your phone number on your Google My Business listings. Uh, we could even get data, through Google My Business Insights about how many people clicked on directions to my location from people who discovered my listing through SEO. So online and offline. And brand credibility, same thing as brand awareness, uh, improves website speed. So while working on SEO, you're also improving the user experience because one of the main factors to be able to rank on search engines is website speed and HTML layout. So basically, when you're optimizing your website speed and HTML layout, what's happening is that you're making the user experience better. Therefore, you're going to get more conversions and a better website and a better credibility to your company. So ensures user friendliness and higher conversion rates and creates a synergy of all marketing activities online. Because targeting on social media, for example, is very expensive. So you can target on Facebook, on SEO, and retarget on social media, etc. So you can really combine it with other marketing channels to make the best out of it. So click distribution heat map, and basically that's the paid ads. Okay, I like it's closer to 90% to 10%, unlike 80% to 20%. As I was saying, the ads get a lot less clicks than SEO. So when we're doing a keyword analysis and we look at search volume for certain keywords, If a certain keyword has, let's say, 1,500 searches per month, when you're doing SEO, you might get, 9 times more out of, that keyword than if you're doing a Google ad. So that's why it's important. It's not really, okay, I'll do Google ads. It's the same thing. It's less work. No, actually, you're going to get a lot less clicks. It doesn't matter if it's, the same search volume. So how search engines work? Uh, so, like we said, it's not just Google. We're talking about Google, Bing, and DuckDuckGo. So we don't mention Yahoo because Yahoo is related to Bing. It takes its results from the Bing webmasters. So search engines, they crawl websites, and after crawling websites, they save the content that's on the website. They analyze a lot of things, and they rank the content by how well it matches the search query entered by the user. So a while ago, Google had what we call the Googlebot desktop. So it's used to crawl website, on desktop versions of websites. But now it's crawling mobile versions of website because now there are more traffic, coming to websites generally from mobile than from desktop. So mobile visitors are increased and even are now higher than desktop visitors. So now it looks at how your website looks on mobile, and it's a crawler that crawls to a certain frequency your website and looks at the changes that has been done to your website and basically saves them in a database, and then it uses that data to decide where to rank you. So on in SEO there are two main things, and it's very important to have a distinction between those two things. So it's on-page SEO and off-page SEO. So off-page SEO is basically everything that we're doing outside the website, and on-page SEO, it's everything that we're doing on the website. And on-page, basically, it indicates the keywords the website that should be ranking for, and it indicates those keywords through the content of the website, and the proposition, which means what my website is offering. Is it a service? Is it an e-commerce? What kind of platform it is? And also indicates the user experience, which is the website speed, if the front end is clean, if the front end is relevant, etc. And off page, it indicates the credibility of the website and the site's reputation, and on the keywords it's targeted. So basically, sometimes I might, add a lot of keywords on the website, and they might not be, related to my industry. And other websites, refer to my website with different keywords. Therefore, it's not going to confirm to Google that this website, really these keywords reflect what the website is. So I'm going to start, sorry, with on-page SEO. So the main ranking factors for on-page SEO is the website speed. If the website is mobile friendly, as I said, Google now crawls website through mobile versions. And the thing is, mobile friendliness, when you're building a website, usually when you switch to mobile, when the website or the CMS, the content management system, which can be Shopify or WordPress or Squarespace, it might mix up some stuff while it's building the mobile version. There might be some problems. So some common issues of mobile friendliness might be text is too small or too big, or sections overlapping each other, etc. So metas and on-page content. So metas and on-page content, metas are just the title and description to every page that you provide Google. And on-page content are the content that's on the website. HTML structure. So this I'm going to keep to later, something a bit technical. I'm going to explain it. Structured markup, it's also something a bit technical. And then relevant content. So the content that's on the website has to be, relevant to the industry and to the keywords that I want to rank for. So page speed. So page speed, it downranks, Google downranks a lot. And every time I say Google, same goes for most search engines. Yes, so basically, most search engines, they downrank slow pages. So this is just a graph to show you, the page speed. By the way, there are a lot of tools that we can use to analyze page speed. It can be Google Lighthouse tools. It can be GTmetrix or Alexa. So this is just the data with Alexa, and it shows really the average position based on speed. And you can clearly see that the slower the website is, the lower it ranks usually. And it found that the average page loading speed for a first page result is 1.65 seconds. And 1.65 seconds is usually difficult to reach, to be honest. It has to be really fast, 1.65 seconds. So the page has to be very light. There's a lot of factors. The images have to be, compressed fully, of course, without losing any resolution. And it has to have, an optimal CSS. So you shouldn't load. It's a bit technical, but you shouldn't load all the CSS styling of the website, and some CMSs do that. That's the problem. It loads all the stylings in every page that loads, and you should implement something called JavaScript lazy loading. I'm gonna give you some, tips and insights about how to increase site speed later on. So yeah, these are the fixes that you can do. So like I told you, I can send you also later some links to where you can analyze your website speed. But to analyze your website speed, Google Speed Insights, GTmetrix, I think they're the best. And they're going to give you what the problems are. And so these are some of the most common problems that you could find here. So image scaling, lossless compressions, redirects, and lazy loading. So image scaling, basically, it's when we're talking about different screen sizes. So when you upload an image to a website, you upload it with a different size. And the problem is that every screen has a different size. So what's going to happen is that the browser is going to rescale the image depending on the screen size. And the problem is that when it's rescaling the image, it takes some processing from your browser. So it takes a lot of time. So usually the best way is just to look at, if you're using a CMS, just look at the recommended size of the image that you should upload. So you can find that every place that where you want to, upload the image on the CMS. And usually, if you're not using a CMS, if you're hand building a website, you can just look online at, normal. You could just do a quick search and find what the average size of images is, depending on where you place the image on a website. If it's a widescreen image or if it's a full height image, and you're going to get the resolutions in pixels, try to resize that image at the same resolutions that you get, and you can upload it. And also very important to compress the image. So there's two types of compression. So you can compress what we call lossless compressions. So lossless compression, basically, it's compressing the image up to a certain point where you don't lose resolution, but going after that limit, you're going to start losing some resolution to the image. So lossless compression is going to compress the image up to a point where you don't lose resolution, and you're going to save some weight on the page, and it's going to load quicker. And then minimizing redirects. So minimizing redirects, it really depends. So usually a lot of websites, they have a lot of plugins integrated. So it might be, some plugins like, or let's say some trackers like Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager. So these things, of course, you can't remove them because that you have to use them, and you're using them for a certain purpose. But sometimes, those tools that you use to analyze the speed, they're gonna, show you those problems. And but sometimes it might be plugins that you don't really need to use. So with those tools that I told you about, you can really see how much that plugin is slowing my website. Is it worth it? Is it not? If not, we'll try to remove it. And then lazy loading. So lazy loading, it's a JavaScript that you implement on a website, and basically it creates a certain sequence of loading to a certain page. So what will happen is that when someone loads a page, it will load really section by section. So it's going to start by loading the top section of the page. So it's going to appear first, and then while I'm browsing, it's going to start loading section after section. So to be able to implement lazy loading, if you're using a CMS, again, it's very easy to find those plugins that will do that lazy loading implementation. or you can just go in online if you hand build the website. If you hand build the website, the person who hand built the website, if he reads a little bit about it online, it would be kind of easy to implement. So it's important to always keep looking at your website speeds. So just to give you an example, we're showing here in Northalsted. So just in the past month, we sped up 339 pages. So at one point, we only had like 100 slow pages, and very quickly we went back up to 523 slow pages, and we brought it back down. We brought back 339, slow pages down. We sped up 339 pages. So if your website is big and it's always changing, you always have to keep, speed analyzing those pages and keep optimizing because it keeps going on and on. And sometimes when you implement a plugin, it affects all of the pages of your website. So it's something to really keep track of. So keywords and title tags. So title tags, I was explaining before, it's the title that you give to Google. So basically, whenever you search for a listing on Google, the listing is going to appear as a title and a description. And this title is very important for SEO. So this is one of the main ranking factors. So you have to really add in your title, the keywords that you want to rank for in your title. And usually how it works in search engines is that the more on the left it is, the more important it is. And what's on the right, on the far right, is the less important. So put the main keywords, the most important keywords on the left and the less important keywords on the right in your title. And you have to follow a certain format for a title. So for Northalsted, we followed a certain format, which is main keyword number one slash vertical dash, I'm sorry, main keyword number two dash Northalsted. So it's a format that we followed for all of the website. And this is, the meta title. And usually what we do is we do a keyword analysis, and this is what I suggest you guys do. So you do keyword analysis. You pick some keywords based on volume, search volume of the keyword, and keyword difficulty, which means how difficult the keyword is to rank for. And then you have to do something called keyword association. So you associate keywords to URLs. So for example, if I'm looking at a certain URL, which is for example, northwestside.com/pridefest, I'm gonna pick the keywords which are Gay Pride Parade Chicago. For market days, so I'm gonna pick market days, Command Fest, etc. And Street Summer Festival. For the main homepage, I'm gonna pick Halstead Chicago, Gay Chicago event, etc. So you associate the keywords to URLs, which means like saying, I want to rank this URL on those keywords, these URLs on other keywords, and then you write your title. You follow a certain format for the titles, and you write also what we call a meta description. So a meta description, it's also a description that you provide Google with, and it also has to have keywords, and you have more space to add, keywords in that description. But the meta title usually is more important than the meta description. And also try not to stuff keywords in those meta titles and meta descriptions. Try to not do a lot of repetitions. Try to use synonyms to the keywords that you want to rank for, and it has to be written in good English. It has to make sense, because sometimes when you want to really stuff keywords in your meta titles and meta descriptions, it's going to look a bit inorganic sometimes. So there are also some limits. So a meta title shouldn't be longer than 70 characters. It should be between 50 and 70. A meta description, I think it was 160, the limit. So yes, you just follow those rules. You try to write something organic, add in your keywords, add in the right keywords to the right URLs, and you'll be good. And Google's gonna, crawl that page, read those information, and rank you on those keywords. And it's very important that the keywords really match the content of the page. So if you're using, a keyword for a certain page, the same keywords has to be the same keywords that are in the meta title have to be in the page also. So HTML structure. So HTML structure, it's basically divided into multiple things. So you have technical, content and social, and then, you know, uh, general problems, issues. So it's, you know, analysis that you do to your website. And what will happen is that it will give you some problems and some issues that might not be visible when you visit the website, but it's problems that Google really takes into consideration and downranks your website if you don't fix them. So just to give you an example, it can be, for example, a 404 page. So 404 page is a page, you know, that has a 404 error, and you know, there's no link to that website, for example, on the website, to that page on the website. So you might think, okay, no one's gonna see that page, so it's not a problem. I don't have to delete it. But Google is going to find that page while crawling your website. It's going to index it and it's gonna flag it as a problem. So these are all problems that needs fixing. It might be, for example, a redirect chain. So a redirect chain is a website that a page that redirects to another page that redirects to another page. It's something that Google doesn't like. A broken redirect. So a page that redirects to another page that is broken. So an orphan page, for example, a page that exists but has no link whatsoever on the website. So therefore you can't reach it. So a lot of these issues are easily fixable, and it depends on how large your website is. You have to fix them one by one, and you have some problems that are more important than others. So these issues that you see here, we use a software called Ahrefs, so you also can use it to analyze your website. And then there's content and social. So these are a bit less important. So the social tags are not very important. So as you can see, there's a difference between red flags, yellow and blue. And actually the you know, yellow and blue, they're not so important, but they're just suggestions. And it's just links that you add between your website and your social pages. And it's not something that's you know, gonna downrank you if you don't do the link. But if you have, you know, good social pages with good rankings, good ratings, I'm sorry, a lot of engagements and followers, it's good to really add that link between your, you know, to the website and your social pages to add more credibility to your website. And there's multiple ways, you know, to add those links. It's not just really adding a link to your Facebook or a link to your Instagram. There are ways to connect those two. And when we're talking about content also, this is just, you know, telling you that you have pages that don't have a meta description, which we talked about before, descriptions that you provide Google, pages that don't have a title, pages that have a title that's too long. So it's really good to use those tools because if you have a big website, as we said, it's going to analyze all of those pages instead of going page and other page and see which page has a meta title, which page doesn't have, and where am I missing descriptions. You just use those tools. They give you all the links and all the problems, and you just, you know, fix them much easier. So technical issues. Technical issues are, and these are all examples from Northalsted, by the way. And technical issues, basically, it's you know, really technical, like we said. So like broken JavaScript, broken CSS. So if you're familiar with those things, it's interesting to fix them. It solves a lot of problems, not just for search engines, but also
Can I interrupt
for
for
the
a
user.
second?
Yeah. Right.
The numbers that you're showing us so that we can follow it,
Yeah.
the black numbers are the ones that were there initially, and the green ones are what you improved?
No, these are what are now.
Okay.
How many issues are now? And these examples are all from the past month, basically. They're all issues from the past month. So for example, if I'm looking at this number, the number was 182 and it went down to 48. So 134 issues were solved. So it's also showing, you know, the importance to keep crawling your website. And usually with a software like Ahrefs, what it does is that you schedule a crawl. So you tell Ahrefs to crawl the website every week. And every week it's going to crawl your website, send you an email with all of the issues happening. And, you know, with a little bit of experience, you start to learn which problems are more important than the others. And then, you know, it's a continuous work. You know, you keep fixing those websites. But I think, you know, a business generally, most of businesses, they don't have pages as much as Northalsted's website have. So with Northalsted, we have over 7,000 URLs. So really, it's bulk work. You can't do it on your own. You have to have a team working on it. But if it's for an individual business, a restaurant, bar, uh, it's easy to fix those problems. And
Mark,
also, yeah,
business, most businesses don't really update their pages as often as North Halstead does. You know, a lot of businesses make a website and
exactly.
that's set. If you don't make a change to your website, could something still break, or is that only a
No,
concern when you're actually making changes?
no, it doesn't happen. If you really don't change anything on your website, you don't add content, you don't add a plugin, anything, nothing's gonna happen. It's gonna stay the same, exactly.
Okay.
Because also these are all problems that are literally on the website. They're unrelated to your server or your hosting. So if it were problems related to server or hosting, I would say there might be some things that would break if you don't do anything. But if you haven't changed anything on the website, no, nothing would change. So yes, it's like you said, most businesses don't update their pages. So that's why it's even more efficient for them to work on these, because it's just really one fix, one time that's gonna, you know, last a while, and it's not much work to do. So and obviously you're not gonna find all of those problems also. It's not gonna be in the hundreds. So the software is Ahrefs, so you can do a free trial and you can, you know, just go to a section. It's called Site Audit, and you just add in your website. It's going to crawl it depending on how big the website is. It's going to take, you know, a specific number of hours, and it's going to flag all the problems to you. So yes, and also, you know, just do the differentiation between red, yellow, and blue. The red are, you know, the most important, but even sometimes it's going to flag some red issues that are not that, you know, critical. It's not going to downrank you. So for example, like orphan pages, it's not going to downrank you basically. Uh, you know, meta description tag missing or empty, it's not going to downrank you, but it's just wasted opportunities sometimes. So yes. So Google Images, also these, it's gonna, you know, give you some, you know, issues that you have for Google Images. So it's gonna tell you if your images are too large, if you have broken images on the website, and if you have missing alt text. So missing alt text, of course, it's not a problem, but it's something that, you know, it's very important to do. So alt text, you know, when you're doing SEO generally to a website, like I said, there's a lot of ranking factors, like really a lot of ranking factors. But if you want to rank for Google Images, there's just one thing to do, which is alt text. Really, that's the only thing that you need to do to be able to rank on Google Images. And sometimes it's important, sometimes it's not. It really depends on the nature of the business. So for example, if I'm selling sunglasses, it is very important for me to rank on Google Images because I can convert on Google Images. So someone might type in Ray-Ban, and he might go to Google Images, look at the images, and then he might like a model and then click on the link of the image, and it might convert into a sale. But for example, if I type in accounting services, I'm not going to go into Google Images and look at the images related to accounting services. So you really have to know what is the nature of your business, and, you know, think that is Google Images going to help me rank, or is it not convert or not? If it is, it's very simple. You just go into every image and you add a small descriptive text, which we call alt text, and it basically not more than one phrase, really, like not more than 5 words, and you just describe the image. And of course, you would have already done your keyword analysis, so you use those keywords. So for example, we take the example back of the Ray-Ban glasses. You just go in and add an alt text to that image and say Ray-Ban purple model XYZ, and you'll be able to rank and you might convert from it. So off-page SEO. So off-page SEO, now it's a completely different thing. It's really not technical work. It's really mostly writing blogs and posting them on other websites. So the important ranking factors usually of off-page SEO, it's blog posts and articles, domain authority, which I'll explain later, infographics and other visual content, contextual links for local SEO, and then Google My Business. So Google My Business is more or less considered off-page SEO, but we have a special section for Google My Business. But blog posts and articles, basically, it's writing blogs, trying to pitch them to other websites, and convince them to post that blog, and that blog would have a link to my website. Domain authority, it's really what score you have, like how, what's the domain authority of a website? It's how credible it is. And it's not really something that Google provides to you. It really depends on the website. So you might have, you know, uh, heard about Alexa Rank or Moz, for example. Alexa, it's a different software that has its own ranking system. Moz, a different website, also has a ranking system. Domain authority is just a word that Ahrefs use to tell you, how good is your backlink profile. So it's just a number to be able to compare really how good is my off-page SEO. And basically, infographics and other visual content where you're usually trying to, talk to other websites to post articles and blogs. You have to add, some infographics and visual content. Google takes this as also an importance, in pitching stuff, because Google, the reason why it wants this, because it wants to have as much, content as possible to be able to, rank on, its search engine. And basically, Google has some guidelines to its own about how people like to read articles, what should be in an article, and an important thing that should be in an article accordingly to these search engines are infographics and visual content, because they think that infographics and visual content really make the content and the blog more credible and relevant and easy and fun to read. And contextual links for local SEO, it's very simple. It's basically just going to directories and register your website on these directories. So what will happen is that these directories are going to help you, depending on where they are located, they're going to help you to rank locally. So if, for example, I'm in Montreal, I want to, rank locally in Montreal, I have a restaurant. One of the things, and it's also an easy way to get links, I'll just, find directories in Montreal. I just go in these directories. A lot of them are free. I'll just put in my company name and, my website link, some information that they ask me, and I'll just have a link to my website. So first of all, I can get traffic from those directories because a lot of people use these directories. And at the same time, I, get a higher domain authority because I have an extra link to my website, which is going to increase my ranking in search engines. So that's contextual links, and it's easier than articles, because articles you have to, really write the article and pitch it to a website, and sometimes they ask for edits, etc. But it doesn't give as much, points, let's say, to the website as much as articles. Like when Google sees that you have more articles linking to your website than contextual links, it's better. It's much better. So URL rating. So URL rating usually, there are two different things. So domain rating or domain authority and URL rating. So domain rating, it's a rating that you have for all of your website. So let's say I do a lot of links. Let's say I put 10 links. I start a new website and I put 10 links on 10 different websites to my homepage. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to increase my domain rating. So let's say my domain rating increased to 5/100. So all of the pages have the same domain rating because it's a rating for the whole domain. But as a URL rating, the homepage is going to have its URL rating increased, but other pages are going to, keep their URL rating at 0. So usually what happens is that if I have two websites that have the same domain rating, and I'm trying to rank two pages with the same keywords, the same content, the page that has a higher URL rating is the one that's going to rank. So if I have a website, for example, which is a restaurant, if I want to rank the homepage, it's going to be easier for me than to rank the page, which is the contact page, let's say. But for me, the contact page is important to rank because this is where I convert. So I want to rank my contact page, but it has a low URL rating. What do? I get links to that contact page instead of just getting links to my homepage. So when I'm trying to get backlinks to my website, I try not to get those backlinks only to the homepage. I try to get them to the pages that I want to rank. And these are the pages where I convert, basically.
Mario, would it be
Yeah,
beneficial if, let's just say everyone in this chat, we all are business owners, if we put links to each other's businesses on our pages somewhere, would that be an
of
instant
course.
benefit?
Of course. And the bigger benefit even is not just to add the, the links of, so there are many different ways to do this. So you can create a page. So any one of the members can create a page, and with that page it would be a source page, what we call, because you don't, if you add a link that doesn't make sense. So let's say, for example, I add a link on the navigation menu and I'm a barber shop and I'm adding a link to a restaurant, it doesn't really make sense. Why am I adding the link here? So it's link stuffing. So you add the source page and you put in the link of all of the businesses, and that source page would say that, okay, you're a member of Northalsted, and these are the other members of the Northalsted Business Alliance. So this way, of course, it would help all of the businesses together, and it would be a great way actually to increase your domain rating. If everyone just adds a source page and all on all of the websites, and it's really going to give a lot of effect because it's it's a lot of businesses and all of the websites are credible, because there's something also that when you're trying also to do off-page SEO and to guest blog, the problem is that you're going to find websites that post blog, and most of these websites usually post blogs for money. And Google knows that these websites post blog for money. So you're going to pay for them to post an article, and it's not going to give any effect because Google knows that this website takes money for blogs, so it knows it's not an organic link, and it's very hard to find links that are really organic and are going to affect your domain authority. So all of the websites of those businesses are organic and increase, are organic. So basically, it's going to, have a lot of effect. And important thing also is to add a link to all of the website on Northalsted's website. So you already have that, and this is something that's affecting all of the websites already. All right, so we were talking about how to increase your domain authority. So blog posting, what we talked about, contextual directories, resources, it's just resource links. You can go into certain websites and provide them some relevant information instead of providing them with a full blog, and they would use that information to write a blog, and they would put like a small source with a link to your website. So it depends on the industry that you guys are in. If you have a lot of information, you find websites that are in the same industry, provide them with interesting information, they'll write about it and give you a link. And there's something called the 404 links method. So basically you can download any 404 plugin to your browser, and what will happen is that you can visit websites and you just turn on that plugin, and it's going to show you all the links that are 404 on that page. So for example, you're a restaurant, and let's say Asian restaurant, for example, sushi, and you're gonna go and type in best sushi restaurants in Chicago. So you're gonna find the list of the top 10 sushi restaurants in Chicago. You go into that website, you just turn on that plugin, and it's gonna instantly tell you if there are 404 links on that page. So if you find a 404 link on that page of one of the restaurants, you basically just contact the owner of that website, or you just contact the writer of that article. You tell him, hey, there is a link that you have on this specific article. It talks about the 10 best sushi restaurants in Chicago, but the link is broken. So I have a sushi restaurant. It's also in Chicago. It's also really good. I have good ratings. Can you replace that link with the link to my website? very likely he's going to say yes. He's going to replace it with your link, and you're going to get a link, higher domain rating, and also get traffic from that article because you found it on Google in the first page in the first place. So basically, it's getting traffic on the keyword that you want. So this is a method that really works to get traffic and increase your domain rating. So backlink recovery. So backlink recovery, sometimes when you analyze the links on your websites, what will happen is that you're going to see, a certain trend of the backlinks, and sorry, and you're going to see that sometimes, you're losing backlinks, you don't know why, and sometimes you're gaining backlinks, and you also, don't know where they're coming from. And backlink recovery, basically, it's a method where you can go into software like Ahrefs again, for example, and you can look at, what links have you lost, and one of the main reasons how you might lose links to your website, it's because you had a page, for example, that talked about a certain event, and page with content information, relevant information, but it's an event that happened in 2018. And a lot of people put links to that page because it was relevant information about that event. But so you look at the article, you say, okay, it's from 2018, we're in 2020, it's an old event, it's outdated content, I'm going to remove that page. So you remove that page, but you lose all of the backlinks that you have to that page specifically. So what will happen is that you're gonna, get your domain rating decreased because you lose all of those backlinks to that page. So this is the only thing that, I can tell you is an easy trick, not trick, let's say easy method to be able to recover those backlinks. You just go into the links of every time you just delete a page, you just redirect the URL. So if I'm deleting a page called northalsted.com/brightfest-2018, I delete the page, but I redirect that URL to /brightfest-2021, just to be able to not lose the backlinks that I got to 2018. So this is also an example from Northalsted. So basically, when we started the project, in January, we started the project approximately in February. There was already, a decrease, a curve down to, backlinks, and then we saw that it's because of all of those pages that were getting deleted. So we were able to recover a lot of backlinks back to Northalsted's website by doing just that simple, method of redirecting those pages that have been deleted. So I think it's, mostly done with the content of SEO, and now we're talking a bit about it's nerd. So why going with it's nerd would be beneficial to the businesses. It's because first of all, we're partners with Northalsted Business Alliance, and by working for a while with Northalsted, we know a lot of businesses are in Northalsted. We have already done a lot of keyword analysis to the businesses in Northalsted. We also can, benefit the websites with the Northalsted's website because it has a very high domain rating. And, we already have a lot of experience working not just with Northalsted, but in Chicago, within the project of Northalsted, because we have done a lot of research, on the area, on the businesses and everything. And we also, do something before, any project. We send a detailed SEO proposal, and that detailed SEO proposal, what it will do is that it will have a lot of the analysis that I just talked about. So even the proposal itself helps, businesses take those, information and work on them. And we, of course, analyze competitors online a lot, and we have a lot of experience in SEO. And when we, work in SEO projects, we always do it this way. So it's first month research, second month implementation, and then third month is optimization and up. So and during that research, we determine the strategy to your business. So it's always a different strategy depending on the business. So we don't do a it's not like we take an SEO project and it's just A, B, and C. It's really a tailored strategy to each business, depending if it's e-commerce, if it's services, whatever the industry is, whatever the conversion is on the website. And we have a great price value, we're responsive to customer service, and we have a lot of references. Some case studies, and Northalsted, mainly we're showing how we increased some of the traffic and some of the strategies that we use for Northalsted. So before we started the project, we have a low amount of traffic generally just on the website, on the homepage. And we worked a lot of on-page SEO. So for Northalsted, we didn't really focus on off-page SEO because it already had, a very high off-page SEO, and we didn't really feel the need because there was a lot of potential to work on-page SEO. So very quickly, we started to really increase the traffic on the Northalsted's domain and on the main pages, which are northalsted.com/brightfest and /market days. We're able to increase, approximately 800, 600 every week, working on the project at the beginning. So what happened, and you see that every week, really, we kept increasing. And then the problem is that, COVID hit. And the thing is, the main keywords that brought traffic to Northalsted's website were market days. We focused a lot on street festival, Chicago, summer festival, Chicago, etc. And the problem is that both of them got canceled. So even though we, increased a lot of, the traffic, there is, the events were canceled. So, okay, we kept the changes, that we did. We still had the rankings, and we increased the rankings, which are going to help next year if the events are going to happen, because we're of course going to keep those rankings. But we spend then more times focusing on businesses and the members of the NBA. And by focusing on the businesses, we did exactly the same work of researching keywords, really writing the best content. And we were basically trying to rank the business pages, the directory, basically on the Northalsted website. So here are just examples of, increases of traffic to each and every one of the page. You can, see it later on the presentation, but you can see that the impressions have gone up on all of the businesses, the number of clicks, and a lot of business pages didn't even appear, didn't even get any traffic, any clicks, and now they're getting traffic. And even though I know a lot of businesses are closed, or uh, the business is a bit restricted because of COVID, but the work that we've done on the Northalsted website is going to last, for a while. We're not going to lose those rankings, and we're gonna, keep maintaining. And at one point, when the businesses can, fully get back to, the services that they provide, they are going to receive a lot of traffic from the Northalsted website. So yeah, and here we talk a bit about the variety of the keywords that we worked on Northalsted's website. So we found a lot of undiscovered keywords, a lot of keyword opportunities. We didn't really just focus on main, keywords like Brightfest, market days, and we found a lot of keywords that no one was focusing on. This is why it shows the importance of keyword analysis, because we really find a lot of opportunities and a lot of because everyone is doing SEO now. So the keyword difficulty is really increasing on a lot of keywords. So doing a very good keyword analysis at the beginning is really going to help throughout the whole project, because you're going to find a lot of small keywords, and you're going to rank on undiscovered keywords. And sometimes when you're the only one who know these keywords and is ranking on those keywords, it's going to get you a higher conversion rate because you don't have much competition on specific keywords. So a lot of that we did for Northalsted, and focusing on different pages. So also creates a lot of variations of the website. So businesses, also services, also the events, also just keywords related to the cities. This is just an example of a lot of the keywords where we're ranking and the volumes. So you can also see them in more details when I send you the presentation. And you can also see continuous movement. So this is just to explain that we stopped working, before I take that screenshot, we stopped working on specifically keyword rankings about a week or two before taking that screenshot. But it's just to show you that the work that we've done before, it's still, ranking us up on some keywords. So we were still growing and, going up in ranks, even though we, stopped working specifically on keywords at the last period. So it's really something long term, and it's really something that's gonna, let you keep growing. It's not like ads. If you turn off the ads, you're instantly not gonna rank. You're instantly not gonna get traffic anymore. But SEO, you're, still gonna get traffic even if you don't work on your SEO. You might even keep climbing up on some rankings, even if you, take a pause of working on SEO. So it's a big difference between SEO and pay-per-click funnels. Yes. So Google My Business, I also, had a small section talking about Google My Business. So I think that most of the businesses already have this set up, but I don't think most of the businesses has it optimized, because uh, we found out that throughout a couple of years that Google My Business really is something that a lot of companies and websites don't focus on, and it's actually a great opportunity to get traffic and to get conversions. So usually, if I type in Northalsted, you're gonna find the right column on Google, and it's gonna show you, it's gonna give you the website link, directions, and call. So to be able to rank your Google My Business, because some people think that this thing, the Google My Business listing, only appears if I type in the name of the business or the address, but it's actually wrong. You can appear on Google My Business even if someone types in, for example, Pride Fest. So it really depends how you optimize your Google My Business. And the nice thing also about Google My Business is that optimizing it to be able to get more traffic, more relevance, more impressions is really not technical at all. It's really very straightforward and very easy to understand and perform. So we really gave a detailed process on how to optimize your Google My Business listing. So I'm just gonna quickly go through it, but you're just gonna have, this saved, and you can just follow these steps, and I can guarantee that you're gonna, have your Google My Business listing appear more and be able to get traffic from it. So checklist, informative description. Uh, it's just two different examples, I think. Yeah. And then create labels. Labels here, you add in your keywords on the labels. And you have to post updates. So keep posting updates about, your business. You can even post updates about offers that you're doing, changing locations, etc. If you have events, post events. If you have products, if you're an e-commerce store, add your products to Google My Business and reply to reviews so that you can, get, you can show Google that you're engaged to the reviews, and you can also, encourage other people to, do more reviews on your Google My Business listings. And just here an example of why Google My Business. So I'm showing also on Northalsted, we did a final boost to Google My Business. So we had already increased the traffic and calls on Google My Business, but we redid some changes and added a lot of things to Google My Business. And you can see that how much we increased basically listings on search, on maps, and how quickly also we increased from the changes that we did. And we even, increased on photo views. So basically we were lower than businesses that are similar to ours, but then after all those optimization, now we outrank, businesses that are similar to Northalsted. And we increased maps views, activity, which means people calling, people, clicking on directions, etc. And that's, in a very short period of time. So like I said, Google My Business, it's very straightforward. It doesn't require any technical skills, and it's very easy to implement as long as you have the keywords that you want to rank for. You just follow these steps that we added in the checklist, and that's it. You're gonna see, your stats increasing. So Yes, so for the services, that's the part where I explain, most of the services and then the offers that we have. So as for services, Google Ads, SEO, Google Maps, Google My Business, Google Images optimization. This is under one section. And then conversion rate optimization. So Google Ads, I'm not gonna, explain each of the details. You can, take a look at them in more detail later because there's a lot of things that are a bit technical. SEO, also a lot of things that I explained throughout this presentation, which would be the keyword analysis, speed optimization, the links to your website, the brand awareness, HTML structures, optimizing layouts, link building, etc. And there are more things, that I did not explain that also we offer within our services. And there's the Google Maps, Google My Business, and Google Image optimization. As I explained, Google Image is pretty straightforward. Google My Business, I already gave you the steps. Google Maps, it's something in between Google My Business and the website. And then conversion rate optimization, why it's very important also, it's because let's say I'm getting, 1,000 visitors per month to my website. So if I have a conversion rate of 1%, it's 10 conversions, 2%, it's 20 conversions. So that jump from 1% to 20% to 2% might be something very simple, such as, for example, changing the color of the add to cart and making the price smaller. For example, it's really analyzing how people behave on the website, interact with the website, and changing some visuals and changing some content to be able to increase the conversion rate so that people who go into the website convert more. So it's a lot of things that we learned through experience and that we read about, and that we did a lot of trial and error to be able to figure out really some things about how to increase conversion rate. It's simple things sometimes, like don't put the price in red, put it in black. You have to, have the font of the price small so that people, don't emphasize it too much, because if it's bigger, they find it more expensive. It's really small tricks here and there that increase conversion rate a lot. So yeah, basically these are all, our services that we provide, and the services with each other, they give the most impact and the most effect, because doing SEO, increasing traffic a lot, and not doing conversion rate optimization, it's not going to be as effective as doing SEO and conversion rate optimization, because you're getting more traffic, might as well get more out of that traffic that you're getting. So basically we had different types of packages. So usually SEO, it's something a bit continuous. So basically what we do is we work on a monthly basis. But we also added, this is only specifically to NBA members, something which is a DIY package, let's say. So it's kind of like things that we do. So mostly analysis, that we will provide you data for it. And it's basically mostly the details that we spoke about throughout this presentation. And then you can do those things yourself. So for example, the starter analysis, which would be a keyword analysis, a full site audit, and SEO guide. So we will do the keyword analysis, therefore you'll be able to do the Google My Business on your own, which I told you is very user-friendly, non-technical. And then the full site audit, you might fix some non-technical problem about your website, like we said, the 404 errors, the redirect problems, etc. And then SEO guide, and within that SEO guide, we will explain a little bit about how to write blogs, how to do some easy things to speed up your website, some guides to follow about how to write your meta title, how to write your meta description. And then the advanced analysis, we add in our site speed insights. So we give you all the details, what's missing on your website to optimize the speed. A competitor analysis, a full detailed competitor analysis, and from that analysis you can get a lot of information about what your competitors are doing relatively to services that they're offering that you're not, also methods that you're using to, you know, increase their SEO that you can also use to your business. We also do a demographic analysis, which is, you know, what the data says about the perfect user is to your industry. Basically, it's the age range, the locations, the interests, and you can use those to do, for example, more optimized Google Ads campaigns or social media campaigns. So as for the packages, we have divided it into two separate things. So basically you have multiple products and services and then single products and services. So single products is really a website that has, you know, either one product or either one service. So for example, a restaurant or for example, any product or a startup that is launching, you know, a specific product. And then multiple products and multiple services. It's you know, an e-commerce store or a marketplace, or even, you know, multiple services such as a cleaning company, because a cleaning company, for example, might offer you know, office cleaning, house cleaning, deep cleaning, etc. So it might have, you know, multiple services. It's really, you know, we look at the business and we'll see if it's really multiple services or not, because multiple services requires you know, working, you know, each service would be considered as a different project. Therefore, that's why it's a bit more expensive than single product, single service. So yes, we also have each one of them divided into three: startup, growth, enterprise. So the difference between those, they all have conversion rate optimization: Google Maps, Google My Business, Google Images. But the startup, you know, includes only Google Ads. The growth includes SEO on top of, you know, these two, and enterprise includes the SEO and Google Ads. And with all of these packages, you get a free consultation. And then with the multiple, it's also the same thing. It's Google Maps, Google My Business, Google Images, and conversion rate optimization are included in the three packages, but one of them has Google Ads as extra, one of them has SEO, and the enterprise has both. And they all have also a free consultation. And the description of each and every one of those services is here. So if you want to know really what am I getting if I want to take this package, conversion rate optimization, Google Maps, etc., SEO, I just look at these three and really I'll get the details of what I'm getting here. Also, any more questions, guys?
No, I'm good. Thank you very much, Mario.
No
Thank
problem.
you very much. I want to keep the board on for just a second, but we
Okay.
we appreciate the information. We'll touch base. Dale, did you have any other questions for Mario?
No, I think I'm good.
Thank you.